Okay, so it's time to upgrade this mini ITX PC. Now, long story short, I built it as a gaming PC. I then didn't use it for gaming, so I sold the graphics card and then turned it into a HT PC. Then it was on 24 hours a day, and because there's fans in it, it was audible, and I decided that I may as well swap it out for my editing PC, which is fanless, dead silent, and uses very little electricity, which I have done, and I would repurpose this as my editing PC. But the problem is, well, it's a bit rubbish for editing. So there's no USB 3s whatsoever. It runs a little bit hot, even though I've got a Noctua fan in there. It does an amazing job, but because it's very slimline, it just gets rather hot. It's got an i7 3770, 8 gigs of RAM, and it just basically needs a bit of an upgrade. I mean, the graphics card that I think that I've got in here is from 2011, and it's a 1 gigabyte card, so it really, you know, it needs some TLC. So what have we got? Well, we have a new motherboard. So this is a Gigabyte GAH81, so it supports 4th generation Intel processors. Already here I have installed an i7 4790S, so that is basically a 4790, but it's ever so slightly lower clocked when it turbo boosts, therefore it uses just that little bit less electricity. Now, I've also got 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance RAM. I've also chucked in an mSATA SSD because I just had one lying around, so may as well pop that in there. I've also got an adapter arriving for this little mini PCIe port. That is right there. Hopefully you can see that. So that will allow me to connect the external USB 3s at the front to the header. Now, because this is located right next to where the CPU cooler would be, I've decided to change the cooler because obviously it is struggling to keep the processor cool. So I've basically purchased, nearly dropped the graphics card, did a Linus there. I've purchased a water cooler. I've done an unboxing of this, but this water cooler is small and it should give me enough clearance to use the mini PCIe slot there. So we have that to install. That should keep it nice and cool. What else have we got? We have an 860 EVO Samsung SSD, 1 terabyte. That's going to be the main drive with Windows on it. It's very durable, great, reliable, fast piece of kit. I've also got another SSD that I've had lying around for ages. It's a 240 gig Crucial M500. So we're going to pop that in. And I might even pop in another drive. I've got several other little drives. And I think last but not least is this. Now this is an RX 560 4 gigabyte. So the reason why I've purchased this is because I'm going to use this PC primarily for video editing. So we need hardware encoding hardware encoding of H.264 and H.265, and yeah, this should in theory give us a nice performance boost. So this cost me £60. The memory cost me £40. The CPU cost me £90. The motherboard cost me £40. The Samsung Evo, that set me back £100. That was on a Amazon Prime Day deal thingamajig. And this cooler set me back £40 as well. So we've got a nice upgrade, and the components in here, once I sell those, should net me between £100 and £130. So the upgrade is not going to be that expensive. So now comes the time of ripping this thing apart and putting all this new stuff in. So let's get on with it. Okay, so the power supply is out, and one good thing that I've noticed is that the VGA cable, so the cable to power the graphics card, is no longer required because the RX 560 gets its power from the PCI slot, so that's one less cable that we'll have in the unit, so that's really good. So if we have a closer look, we have to remove this fan here, and then we can pretty much take out the motherboard as is once the graphics card is removed, and then we're ready to start putting all the new components in. So far so good, but I do remember from last time, it's not the taking apart, it's putting all the bits back together again that's the hard bit. So to be honest, that's the good fun, so I'm looking forward to it. Right, let's carry on. Okay, so the motherboard is actually installed now, and I quickly figured out that the best thing to do would be to install the water cooler onto the motherboard before I actually install the motherboard into the case. So I've done that, and it's looking pretty good. And now we've got to attach the fan to the back of the radiator and then attach that to the case. So that should be the easy bit. I think the hard bit's done now. We have the radiator and the fans fully mounted. That was actually very straightforward, so that was really good considering it's my first time doing a all-in-one cooler. I'm pretty chuffed at how easy it was. The instructions weren't great, to be honest, but because I've messed around with these things for years, it kind of all made sense once I thought about it for a moment or two. But yeah, it's looking quite good. So now we have to connect all these cables, so they're going to the F panel. Got the USB header, audio. What else have we got? Well, we've got to do all the hard drives. Do you know what? I was thinking, wow, this is fairly easy, but yeah, I've got loads to do. Okay, so I suppose I best crack on. Okay, I think I've finished it. Everything was pretty much straightforward. We put the power supply in, we've got the SSDs mounted under the top here. The only difficult thing that I found was trying to find SATA connectors that would actually fit in without hitting the power supply. But other than that, it's all in. It was looking really clean right up until the last bits went in, and then it just became a bit of a mess really. But it's pretty much done, so all we need to do now is put the top case on and plug it in and see if it turns on. So that's what we shall do. Hello dog. Oh, did you burp? Oh, you're such a cutie, aren't you? Oh yes, I love you. I love you, you little silly dog. Should we go and try the computer? Should we see if it works? No? Yes? Okay. Okay, so we've got it set up, and well, I need to turn it on and hope it doesn't blow up, so here we go. Well, that's not a good start. We have... oh! There is a ticking noise. Well, that really isn't a good start. But we do have BIOS and we have Windows. Okay, we're going to have to sort out that ticking noise. That might be a cable rubbing up against the fan, I'm hoping. It was free the last time I checked, so it really shouldn't be making that noise. So okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come back. I'm going to try and fix this problem, and then we're going to see, well, if this computer is faster than my old one that I've just come from. So hopefully I can fix this problem rather rapidly. Okay, so it's been a while now. I've check the fan, it's not the fan. The pump motor is definitely clicking, it's really noisy. There could possibly be an air pocket. I've tried tapping it, turning it upside down. I'm going to leave it to run for a little while, but I've got a feeling I'm going to have to send it back, so I'm really disappointed. As I said, it's my first water cooler that I've used, and yeah, I'm not impressed. After using Noctua big fan CPU coolers and then going to this, it's bit of a disappointment. Anyway, have a listen and see what you think. Hello, right, it's day 2 now, so I've sent back the Deepcool Gamax L120 back to Amazon. Last night about 9 PM I ordered the Corsair H6 cooler, so a bit of an upgrade, and that arrived midday today. So we're going to install it. So hopefully this time when I put everything together, as you can see, I've got everything just laid out here. It's all a bit of a mess at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to put it all together, and then once it's together we're going to start it up, and then hopefully this time we can do some comparisons, some benchmarks at the end. Okay, let's get on with it again. Okay, the build is finally finished. It's really late at night. It's what, 3 days now since I've started the build. Well, that's how long it's taken. We've got a brand new liquid water cooler in there. The Deepcool L120 is gone. We've got a Corsair H60 in there. That's running beautifully. It's silent and it keeps everything super cool. The graphics card, the RX 560 that I got off of eBay, was faulty, so I've sent that back and I've put a GTX 1050 Ti in there. So we're now using CUDA cores for acceleration. I believe it supports OpenCL as well, but that's in there, that's working. I've taken the system apart and rejigged it. Feels like 100 times, to be honest, just to try and get everything working. Couldn't figure out what was wrong with the GPU to begin with. I had a display, but the drivers wouldn't load properly, and it was just a nightmare. But we're up and running now, so A, is it cooler? And B, am I rendering my videos a lot quicker than before? Because if not, it's been a complete waste of 3 days. So let's find out. Okay, so as you can see, we're stressing the i7-3770 to the max, all cores at 3.7 gigahertz. We've got a CPU Z score of 1880, but we've got a max temp of 86 degrees, which isn't good. So let's compare that with the new PC. We are once again maxing out the processor. This time it's the 4790S. It's at 3.6 gigahertz at all cores, and we've got a score of over 2000, so we've got better IPC here. But more importantly, the temperature has dropped down to a maximum of 52 degrees, so that's a massive drop of well over 30 degrees. So I'm really impressed with that. So let's have a look to see what impact this processor and upgrade has on my video editing. This is a video for my RC channel. It's under 2 minutes in length. It's got loads of transitions, titles, panning shots, slow-mo effects, and it took a total of 13 minutes, 13 seconds to compile and encode the video on my old system. So let's compare that with my new system. Okay, so same video, but with the new processor and with hardware acceleration enabled, we've gone from 13 minutes 13 seconds down to 7 minutes 24 seconds to compile and encode, basically produce the video, which is just fantastic. So this is really going to help with my video editing. And what I haven't really shown you is the massive difference in the video editor while I'm editing, while I'm scrubbing the video and generally just messing around with effects. It's just far smoother. But I've kind of given you the quick overview just to show you the improvements that can be gained with a nice upgrade, not even an expensive upgrade, just getting the right components and using the video acceleration. So there we go. I'm really chuffed with the performance of this PC. It's been a bit of a traumatic experience getting to the end game, but well, hopefully someone's enjoyed that somewhere out there. And yeah, thanks for watching.